Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to ESA Cup Season 8. I'm Pasta, joined by Bozmax, and we have the lower bracket semi-final for you here right now. It's Fennix Esports against Frequency Esport. Max, you excited for this one? I'm excited for this one.
Oh, I'm definitely excited for this one, especially since it's you and me again after such a long time. You and me used to guest quite a bit during like season 4, season 5 of ESA Cup. After that, it has mostly been you and Pubble. So it's nice to have you back as well. We haven't guested for some time. But even more exciting, of course, is today's match because it is the lower bracket semifinal, like you already said. We're only left with a total of 4 teams at this point, as you can actually see right now on the bracket screen. Yeah, like only 4 teams remaining. Again, today we will say goodbye to another team. So after today we will only be left with 3 teams. And even more exciting, whoever wins this match is guaranteed of some prize pool money. As well, that's the top 3. The top 3 gets money, but of course, the first place gets the most amount of it.
Yeah, and obviously first place, you get I guess a prestige, the
Yeah.
bragging rights of having won the tournament as well. So there's a lot to fight here, for a lot to
hmm
fight for here, especially in this match. Because if you lose it, you don't get any more second chances. We're in that lower
No.
bracket. If you lose here, then you are out.
Yes, indeed. And like as you can see right now, the winner of this match will play against, sorry, was about to say Mafia Squad, but of course they are now known as Ghost Army, who, like last week, had a match against Entropy Gaming, which unfortunately wasn't forfeited. So I can already imagine some of our viewers like, huh, I didn't see that match happen. Well, that is because it didn't happen. Unfortunately, Ghost Army didn't have enough players, decided to forfeit, but of course still have a chance in that lower brackets. But yeah, today, Fennix versus Frequency Esports, a big game, a BO3, of course. Well, we're almost ready. The players are almost ready. Let's just quickly jump into those map bans so we can actually get an idea of which maps we're going to be seeing today. And Balbasta, what do you think here?
We have a fairly standard, I guess, map pool here. You've got your clubhouse, you've got your Oregon, you've got your cafe. Especially those first 2 maps, we're really going to be looking at the fundamentals of these teams. We're going to be
Yeah.
looking at whether they can communicate properly, whether they can work as a team. Because particularly on Oregon, there's not really a lot to really innovate on. Particularly, a lot of it is just
hmm
that adaptation on the fly. There's not really much prep that you can do because it's Oregon. Everyone knows how to play Oregon. It's going to play out pretty similar at all times. And it means that, yeah, it's going to be based on team play. It's going to be based on fundamentals,
hmm
those small micro adaptations that these teams are making, and whoever's going to be able to come out on top. But our first map is going to be
hmm
Clubhouse, where
Yeah.
there is still, I think, a bit more space for innovation, particularly involving whichever bomb site you decide to go on to.
Yeah. Especially.
Because
I'm sorry.
let's face it, bar stage is still a thing. Some teams still decide
hmm
to pick there. And I mean, which one is going to be your tertiary? It's people really still don't know whether it's CCTV or
hmm
gym.
Yeah, and especially CCTV bomb site. I actually don't see that much anymore. So when it gets brought up these days, it is maybe bomb site that even attackers are no longer as prepared for to attack as they once used to be. So even bring out CCTV might still be a decent option, while most teams now decide to go for others. But yeah, either way, both of the bomb sets will be very interesting, and I'm very curious to see how these teams will be doing so. Before we can jump into the game, of course, we also have the predictions, so we can actually see what we can expect of this match. Some of the production members have done theirs, but also the community. And as we can see quite a bit of Frequency Esport there up there in the production prediction. Just one for Fennix there for the side from Nanos. And I believe there's a second page. Yes, actually some people are doing their prediction, but that's only one vote
Unbelievable.
for the side of Fennix, and the rest for Frequency, with also the community vote majority being for Frequency.
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely the heavy favorites, and I think it's pretty easy to see why. Fennix came
hmm
into this playoff stage of the competition
Yeah.
with literally the lowest seed possible. They went straight into the
Mhm.
lower bracket, but they were also the lowest seeded of those lower bracket teams. Which meant they had to face up against Team Black straight away. They were 16th out of 16th in
Mhm.
terms of all of the different tiebreakers that we have. But then they've gone on a bit of a run. They
Oh,
take
yeah.
down Team Black in a 2-0. They get a forfeit win against Label East. They take
Mhm.
down MG Aspire 2-0, and then they take down Envision Esports 2-0. They have not dropped a map here
Mhm.
um, in this double elimination bracket.
That's actually rather impressive. Yeah, like you say, like they actually have been doing very well
Hmm.
during the players of stage, the second stage of this competition. Of course, there was an opportunity for the team to do some roster changes between the two stages. So maybe bringing some of those new players might have actually improved the quality of their gameplay. And hopefully, this actually is the reason that they actually have been doing so much better. So maybe they do still have a chance against Frequency Esports. A lot of players that we know from other teams. So we have a very good team here on the side of Fennix. But at the same time, Frequency, who has a good record, might actually still be stronger, like our community is predicting. As the map is now loading in, we are seeing a quick tour here of the map, and then we're going to be starting here with the first map of today: Fennix versus Frequency on Clubhouse.
Yeah, absolutely. And something to point out about Frequency as well is that's a previous Flawless 7 roster that went 3-0 in the Swiss stage. So it's easy to see why this team is the favorite. They did fall early to MG Ryuga, but then again, they took down LDL in a 2-1 game, and they took down MVG, then they in the rematch against MG Ryuga, they won it, and now they find themselves here. So again, not a squad that is going to be a pushover by any means. As you can see, the first two bans coming off the board, it's Montaigne and Hibana.
Yeah, two very understandable operators. Monty can be extremely strong on any map these days, especially after this buff. But even before that buff happened, we saw him being played quite a lot, especially to clear Garage, Catwalk, when people still used to play CCTV a lot. So
Yeah.
Monty has been a band that we have seen quite a bit on a map like Clubhouse, but even Hibana, the master on breaching hatches with all the impact tricking that we see happening in Kitchen. There's no one else who can really counter it well as Hibana.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like we are a little bit we're going back in time almost, like a couple of
Yeah.
years, right? Hibana used to be such a common ban on this map, but it does mean that there's going to be a couple of the attacking operators like Dokkaebi, like Ying, that are also very, very common bans. Ying, the most banned operator on attack, not just in this tournament, but pretty much most of them that do get played. She's actually going to be available right now. So if the attack feel like they are going to be able to utilize her in execute, you do have the warning to counter like we see coming through from bankers, but also can still be very, very strong in the right hands.
Attackers need to locate and
Indeed, and again, this is the second stream here for ESA that we're actually seeing the new HUD of the spectator observer mode of the game. For some people, it still takes a bit of time to use to. Of course, the player cards have been moved to the bottom, and then also the top bar has been overhauled a little bit. Yeah, like I said, for some people, it will take a bit of time to get used to. I think so. Same for you as well, Pasta. I probably have already casted a few matches ever since, but it still takes a bit of time to get used to, right?
No, I've been doing Element 3 recently as well, so I think the main thing that I'm worried about is that I'm just going to start waffling about quarters, and obviously that's not happening here. That new system that's being tested out over in the NAPC off season. I'm going to need to remember that we just have our normal standard halves here in this game, because otherwise I'm just going to be waffling.
Yeah, so yeah, like it's a bit of a different thing, but still all the information that we're used to is still there, so that's at least a good thing. Maybe even a bit more information, but yeah, well, it's something we just need to get used to, and before we know it, we'll be forgotten about the change that even happened at one point.
Although I can't remember what it is, there is one piece of information that is no longer there, and
the compass.
For the life of me, cannot remember what it was.
The compass.
Yes, the compass.
Yeah, I was missing it last week. Like last week, Thursday, I believe, I casted with I believe with Onyx. Yeah, with Onyx. And yeah, the compass was just such a thing that you used to. Like you're saying, like, oh, they're approaching from the western side of the map, and now you just need to know by mind where west is. And yeah, I don't.
No, nor do I. However, there have been a couple of kills in the meantime. We had Kwanga getting the opener on to Just, who was inside of the strip club. A C4 as well goes out from, I believe that's Shinji, and indeed, yes, it is. But still, nothing is going to be found from that one. There was also a little bit of a trade with Bankers taking out Maxime. Bankers obviously upstairs roaming here on this Warden. And it's a Brava taken out. That's not necessarily the worst operator to lose for the attack. It's a little bit annoying, but, you know, still not as bad as maybe your Grim or your IQ.
No, more annoying for the attacking side are those defenders that are currently playing up top, costing a huge amount of time to clear out. If the attackers decide to leave them, they can count on the flank to happen later on, which is something they do not wish to. So they do wish to clear these defenders from the top floor, and well, that will actually cost them some time and potentially even some lives. Only 1 minute remaining at this point, and I believe the defenders have now decided to fall back. Maybe one still playing up top, and also the attackers have decided to focus a bit more on the bomb side. Hatches are already being opened up, and well, with this way they have a crit some verticalities as well. New lines of sight towards the bomb site and new entry points.
Yeah, they absolutely have into the final 45 seconds of this round. The bees are coming on through. You can see there Yuki is just getting tracked by those. Needs to be careful of his position. However, Bale has been taken down fairly low. 52 HP, just about half health there. And now Majo is taking some damage as well. Popoy is going to find some initiative, take the drop. Bankers has found a kill elsewhere, and there's another pick for the side of Frequency Esport. Shinji finding that pick now. It's a 2 versus 4, and Bale just has to push on through the fire and the flames. Finds one. Hachi, though, is there for the trade. Diffuser now surrendered, dropped Majo with nothing he can do in the short amount of time remaining, and Shinji's got the shotgun, locks it out in the first round for Fennix Esport.
That was a pretty convincing round from the side of Frequency. First of all, like I said, wasting time on the attack of Fennix, slowing them down. And once Fennix was ready to go for the actual bomb side, there was just too much resistance and too little time to work with, which caused Frequency to get that first round on the boards. Beautifully done. And with the first bomb site now secured, means that we need to go to a different bomb site. And for this pasta, we'll be going to Bathroom and Gym.
Yeah, again, this is kind of the obvious choice for your second floor site.
Attackers need to locate and
Nothing really too surprising about this. Azami is a little bit interesting, that not Azami, Aruni, that we see being brought along by Shinji. But as for everything else, they're bringing along the Warden again, clearly anticipating that there might be some sort of flash play with the Ying being unbanned. Sort of hedging your bets there. Is still also quite a strong operator in his own right, even if he's not being used to counter the Ying. But it also can be used to just sort of dissuade that attacking team from picking into the Ying, going, look, we have a Warden, so don't pick Ying. Even if, like in the last map, in the last round, sorry, Bankers was playing off-site. So just that presence alone can kind of scare the attack into not really picking into that really strong operator. Castle has also found, Castle and Mirror have found themselves really quite niche places when defending this site, so I'm also not surprised to see them being brought along.
Well, it was the goal to force the attacking side to not pick Ying, then they have succeeded. One thing I'm actually very curious with actually is Frequency on the defense. One thing I was very impressed with was last week on Thursday when Frequency was playing against, I believe it was Ryuga. They played on this map as well, and when Frequency was attacking, they actually, most of them attacked from the main stairs. They entered from strip club and kitchen, and really just try to push from this main stairs rather than going for full clear, which you see most teams doing. So I'm very curious to see how that will go once Frequency goes to the attacking side, because of course right now they are on the defending side. But knowing such an attacking strategy means that they also should be prepared for it. And with various members of Fennix also kind of putting some pressure below, it seems like Fennix has some similar ideas, or they're mostly just worried about those roamers who are playing downstairs at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say it's certainly possible. We can see here Hachi downstairs playing on this castle inside a bar, just sort of being a little bit of a nuisance, but he's going to finally get droned out and at least trying to play ahead of this, trying to swing towards where Kwanga's playing inside of the reception. But instead, we kind of just settle back into this 5 versus 5. We've had half the round here, Max, and even still we haven't found a kill.
That's something that in the previous round Frequency was quite effective as well. Just wasting the time, not leaving any time remaining from the side of Fennix to do anything with. And to be honest, this round they're even more successful. Not a single bit of damage dealt, not a single life lost. So, like I like to say, this round is going to end in one big bloodbath, and it's starting right now. It's Kwanga getting that first kill onto Bankers. Also, the Bandit on Just getting damaged quite a bit, but the second kill then comes out onto Kwanga by Just, with Just also losing quite a bit of HP, just like Juki. And with this one now, Fennix has been 3 versus 3 as both sides get 1 kill each. And just with 45 seconds remaining, both sides have now had some casualties.
outgo the bees, but a C4 in response going to do a little bit of damage there, but still, there's crossfire here from the stairs, leaves it all up to Shinji. Bale now starting to plant this diffuser, but only one player to cover him now. The EMP goes off. I believe that may have caught onto Shinji, and he's going for the swing, taken down. That's Fennix Esport, their first round on the board.
Hey, that's what I like to see. Like we're saying, this is the lower bracket semi-final. There's only 4 teams remaining in ESA Cup at this point, where we started with 24. So 20 teams have fallen. And given the fact that this match is already starting with a 1-1 score, an even scoreline, that's something that I'm definitely hoping for. I want these matches at this point of the stage to be as close as possible. I would like to see overtime. I would like to see all three maps being played, because we're basically just left with the best 4 teams of the competition. And well, this should mean, hopefully, that the teams are really well matched against each other.
It hopefully should, and it's looking that way so far as we are going back up to gym and bedroom. So, we'll have to see whether we actually get the whether we actually get any form of adaptation here coming through from Frequency, and it looks like we are. Just has moved away from the Bandit over to the Kaid. As for everything else, we also have the Mute this time around.
Yeah, so setup-wise, it seems to be somewhat similar, also with that extension to downstairs, where they are securing like the pool table area to be able to watch through the hatch and watch the window from below. But maybe also we're seeing a bit more of an extension towards the CCTV side. I'm not sure whether that happened in the previous round. That's a bit more of the usual setup, right? Like to extend as much horizontally as possible. Hope the attackers are coming from CCTV. Fall back layer by layer, and that way wasting a lot of time, wasting a lot of utility, and hopefully also some lives. And that way try to defend the bomb side. So definitely different stuff that we are used to see on this bomb side, which I like at this point.
Yeah, for sure. As for the attack of Fennix, we're seeing the same lineup. I believe some of the operators have switched around, but we've still got the 5 that we did see in that previous round. And for them, it's just about repeating their successes, right? They just want to maybe do the same thing, maybe switch things up just a little bit, because Frequency, they will have... Excuse me. They will have prepared just a little bit onto what the attack did in that previous round and adapting themselves slightly. That's what we can see with the Mute and the Kaid here. So it's almost trying to play ahead of that, get yourselves into a much better position. But again, we're seeing time being wasted here by the defense. Frequency Esport, again, down to this sort of 1 minute 40, 1 minute 30-second mark, and still not a kill, not a lick of damage has been found. But they are rotating upstairs a little bit earlier. They realized that they were caught out on the bomb site, and that's something they want to avoid this time around.
Yeah, indeed. Frequency Esports really focusing on the time waste strategy. And the last round, it was Fennix being very capable on dealing with it. And this time, well, Frequency, like you're saying, is just trying to deal a little bit better with it. Attackers once again getting pretty close. B is coming out, trying to find any of those players hiding in corners. But in the end, it's Bill with the first kill onto Shinji. Also, Bang is getting damaged quite a bit. So does Ash. But this is a 5 versus 4 situation right now, where the last minute has now started. Next, we see Officer Hachi getting a kill there onto Bill. So that's another player of Team Blue falling. Maxime with a kill onto Bankers. Hachi with a kill onto Mayo.
Yeah, Hachi, I think, is down Kwanga as well. He beamed Maxime as well. Hachi is on a tear in this round, I believe. Now Popoy just going to try and find the revive onto Kwanga, get his teammate up, and that's another gun that can be firing. But Hachi has definitely put his mark on this round, and still there's potential there for him to find an ace, and I think he might actually have to find it. It's just Hachi and Justice. That's another player going down inside of construction, and they've been spotted on their push through here into the site. Popoy, the first player to make his entry. Hachi's got the quad, just steals it away from him. No ace today, but it is still the round for Fennix. Not for Fennix, but for Frequency.
Yeah, correct.
They both begin with F.
They both begin with F, indeed. No. Even if Frequency Esports didn't pick up F7, then it would have been F7, which both would have been an F as well.
Oh, true.
Yeah, let's just hope this match won't be an F. Either way, with a 1-2 score right
Oh
now, it's
dear.
Frequency back in the lead after just losing it out to Fennix after Fennix won that second round. So right now, it's a 1-2 score. Frequency back in the advantage. They have won their top floor bomb site with the second attempt, and this allows them to go back to the basement bomb site, the one they started out of the match with. And well, they were quite successful, again, focusing really on the time waste. And well, the very first round, Fennix wasn't really capable of doing really any much about it. And hopefully Fennix now has learned a bit more about this, the way of the Frequency's playing, and will be able to be more resistant, and will come up with some way to deal with it a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like this vigil though. I'm gonna be honest, I mean, it didn't really work out the first time around, and I feel like part of the issue that we saw in the round that Fennix Esport won was that Frequency, they weren't really playing together all that well. It led to them getting caught out, and Vigil, I feel like, is not really an operator that gives you the best sort of teamwork. However, Hachi is still continuing to just frag here on this Malusi, and has found the opening pick pretty early on in this round. That's Maxime going down.
Yeah, it's a pretty big operator loss. Unfortunately, the Ram was kind of crucial to create verticality and to make it very difficult to play on the bomb side. Luckily, they have brought some other utility that can do the same job. Actually, with the breaching charges, there's some hard breaching charges as well. And of course, the Ash charges are all capable of creating the self-destruction and to make the verticality happen towards the basement, towards the bomb site. So there is luckily still an opportunity, but Ram is just way more efficient on doing so. Right now, we can see Vigil hiding right here inside of Bar, just waiting to be droned out, just trying to avoid him as long as possible and to create a surprise later on. They seem to be aware of his position, so he's doing the right thing by being a bit more aware, a bit more how to say it, like a bit more safe. But for now, the engagement might happen anytime soon. Basta.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. There goes the pre-fire round. Deary me. Popoy will certainly not want to be watching that one back. Just is able to find that kill. I feel like he shouldn't, though. I really feel like that should have been a kill for Popoy. That should have been tying us up, but out goes the Ying. There is a Warden on side, but the drop has gone through. But it's just the Ying that's gone through, and now delayed drop. It's absolute disaster. Mayo at least getting one, denying the flawless, but Bankers was there to finish the job. And like I said, disjointed from the attack there. The Ying jumped down before anyone else died, and then the Grim jumped down, and they basically just gave them separate 1v2s.
Yeah, it almost seemed like was something definitely going wrong there with the with the attack of side of Fennix. The drop already happening a little bit early while the other players weren't ready, and yeah, whether it was an accidental drop or just miscommunication, something clearly went wrong there on the side of Fennix. But the fun thing is the fact that Frequency managed to win the bottom floor once again is that they are forced to play a third bomb site. And we were talking about it just before the match, that Clubhouse is like one of those maps where, well, the third option bomb site, you never really know for sure which is going to be picked by each team. Of course, it can be bar and backstage, or it could be CCTV cache. CCTV cache, of course, in the past being a huge favorite, but since the reworks and, well, just the time passing by on Clubhouse, slowly but surely, bar has gained a bit more favorability, and well, that's what we're seeing right now from Frequency. Basta.
Yeah, I feel like that favorability though from bar stage has also kind of dropped off again as well. Like, we're seeing a lot more CCTV cache than we did maybe a year ago. And I honestly think that both of these sites can be pretty weak. Bar stage obviously is pretty exposed defensively, actually from the site, and it's kind of the same with CCTV cache. As an attacker, you're able to open that main breach, and let's face it, if you're on the attack, you should be able to get that main breach open. Otherwise, you fail.
I like this.
That is kind of your main objective, and it's such an easy objective to get as well. But also, it then just splits the entire site in half. There's this opening engagement that we can see coming through was all telegraphed on those yokai drones, but it's actually Maxime to take out just elsewhere. That's downstairs in the basement. So opening pick going the way of Fennix.
Yeah, Fennix starting out nicely with a 5 versus 4. That's how we are continuing. Attack is already putting some pressure. We can hear some walls being opened up by that ace. It's a jacuzzi wall. Attack is really focusing on clearing the top floor first, as that's where they want to have control over. While Hachi gets a kill there onto Kwanga, was playing as the ace, so that's a hard breacher, or at least one of the hard breachers being lost, unfortunately. But like I was saying, the attackers really want to focus on getting top floor control, as there's so much defender presence right there right now. And well, with all the presence up top, the floors are breachable. Defenders can use the verticality to defend the bomb site from above. But at the same time, attackers can also use it to attack from above as well. So for both sides, it's a very important place to take control over. Oh, Bangas with a beautiful kill onto Maxime, just straight under the castle barricade as the Nuck was throwing grenades. Beautiful kill, brings us to 3 versus 4 now.
It absolutely does. The attack's still in a decent position right now. This is a site that realistically you should be winning on, because it's by no means strong for the attack. Bale gets a little bit risky there by knifing this castle barricade open. Has fallen back, however, just to hold these bit more passive angles, still going for a couple of fights. But for the attack, they don't really have that upstairs control. They don't really have any sort of watch either, as Bank was able to swing, take down one. Again, there's a response from the attack as Popoy's found himself inside the bomb site, but he's all alone. He's on an island, isolated, and now taken down. Mayo, now the only player left standing. 40 HP is probably not going to be enough against the 3 remaining players of Frequency Esport. Banquet is low, yes, but the other 2 players still fairly healthy, and they're not going to offer themselves up on plates. This round should be a defensive win, as now we head into red time, just watching for these angles, waiting. And again, no one's really offering themselves up. Mayo just trying to see if he can get any exits, anyone willing to walk into the crosshairs, and they won't. 4-1 lead now for Frequency Esport.
Yeah, that's Frequency adding just another point onto the board. I'm not sure what the statistics are for Clubhouse here on ESA for this season. I mean, just quickly bring it up. For Clubhouse, we're actually having a 53 defensive win rate so far. So that's well, that's quite significant, and that's also what we're seeing here from the side of Frequency. But especially with them already having 4 points on the board, we can say that they have done the bare minimum, or like a good amount already of rounds. And for the side of Fennix, things are getting a little bit more tricky. Yes, they will go to the defense after this, which should benefit them in a way. But if they only manage to get 1 round on the board in the attack, they will have a big challenge and a big task up front for them. But if they can still turn this into 2 versus 4 score, then they do have a proper chance on that defense.
That they do. Wow. They're going upstairs again. I mean, it is the logical place, I guess. After winning it in round 3, you're able to come up here, play it again, and they're sticking with the adaptations that they made heading into round 3 from round number 2. Your Bandits is gone for the Kaid, your Aruni is gone for the Mute. So sticking with what they know has worked previously, instead of trying to revert back to the old strategy that did not find success. Fennix were able to take that one apart, but it's a fairly strong round the last time that we saw this site being played, but it did all come off the back of Hachi with a 4K. So, well, if Hachi's able to repeat that performance, that would be pretty nice, but we need to see more of the team stepping up to give us a chance to actually see what they can do on this site, rather than just one player popping off.
Indeed. And for now, it's again, of course, the last round here for the side of Fennix to go for the offense. If they still want to turn to 2-4, this is the round they need to do so. And well, it is starting off well. It's getting Popoy getting the first kill on the board. That's the player playing as Grim right now, taking out the Mutes. There's at least 1 operator off the board for the side of Frequency, which should ease things a little bit here for Fennix.
Yes, it should, as that breach does get opened up now, looking in towards construction. It's a decent advantage for Fennix Esport, but unfortunately, the time is starting to dwindle just a little bit. Half of the round has gone. The real question is going to be, what can they do in this time? Taken through the Selma charge, the swing ill-prepared and ill-timed, and there's another couple of picks going the way of the attack. Bankers at least taking down Popoy. That's something for the defense, but still in the 4 versus 2, and the swing is lovely. Wide swing, perfect Mayo. Gets 2 in the end round, and shuts things down for a 4-2 half. This looked like it should have been a 5-1.
Yeah, it seems to be. Sorry, it seems to be that we're having some stream issues here. So apologies to our viewers. We're trying to fix it here on the go on the background. But yeah, to get back to the game, a 2-4 score. So at least the side of Fennix has been able to do something about making the score a little bit more attractive for themselves, especially now they go into the defense. A 2-4 score is something they can definitely go and work with. Now they're playing as a defending team, so I'm hoping to see that we'll be a little bit more successful and can bring the score a bit more to a little bit to a bit more of an equal score of, like, let's say a 4-4 or eventually a 5-5. But that would definitely make the game a bit more interesting. But of course, with the roles now being swapped, things will go very differently.
Yeah, they absolutely will. This should give us a chance now to see what Fennix are able to do on their own defenses, hopefully build up back to be a little bit more even with the side of Frequency Esport. Obviously, Frequency, they are not necessarily as well off as they look, having just done their defensive half. So give it another 2 or 3 rounds, and then we should really start to see how this game is shaping up in terms of the strength of these teams.
Indeed, and well, with Frequency now on the offense, with all eyes will be focused on them. We will see how they will be doing on the offensive rounds. Tunnel already being opened up pretty quickly, of course, with a secondary heartbeat charge, and nothing really to defend it. This is a pretty easy job for them, and for now, seems like they're just leaving it behind, just waiting, just leaving it for a later opportunity potentially if they want to have another direction to come from. But we can see Maxime just being very, very sneaky, just trying to see if anyone might be picking that hole, or if anyone is still standing outside of kitchen. Unfortunately, not finding anyone there on the outsides. But it's one that I haven't seen for a long time. A kind of play like this.
Something that's interesting to me is that we're seeing a Maverick being brought along by Yuki. That's not really the most common of operators, but you know, useful for these hatches. And in the absence of a Hibana, I mean, you could just bring some more operators with those hard breach charges. And there's the opening kill, though. Kwanga getting a lovely little vertical pick on towards Bankers, and that will probably stunt this defense, stunt this attack even, sorry, from Frequency quite a bit. They've lost that tip of the spear that you would normally see, so now it might have to be some of the more supportive players or the players with more supportive roles in this round that are the ones that have to be finding that aggression.
Yeah, and even though Frequency doesn't have the man advantage at this point, they are making good work of their control that they have right now. Buck already doing a very good job on creating lots of verticality and making it very difficult to play on side. But then also here, Yuki has already opened up the hatch and has gone for the drop. Finds Kwanga, that's a defender getting taken care of as well, which brings us to 4 versus 4, which is...
Oh. Well, I nearly peeked that.
I completely was wrong. I thought we were watching Maverick for some reason.
Yeah, please do forgive us, those of you watching at home. Both me and Max are ill at the minute, so our brains are kind of a little bit scrambled. So yeah, that's the excuse I'll be using. Yuki's peeking the hatch again. Fortunately for him, though, Maxime is not quite able to find any of those shots to land anything as a flash goes down, and Shinji's there, able to find the trade, and Mayo from above is good for 1, but the push downstairs is brilliant. Popoy flanking from behind Shinji takes the kill, and now look at the HP bars of those remaining attackers. Just 1 HP and 13 HP between them. Just a body shot will be good enough, and there it is. Popoy taking out Hachi, but now retreating down to 15 HP himself. It's just going to wait for them to have to try and plant this diffuser, but Yuki's going hunting, and he's taken down. Fennix Esport with their first defense.
Apologies for my confusion there. I guess I'm just gonna actually blame it on the new on the new HUD, where it's just a bit difficult sometimes to actually see which operator you're actually watching these days. Like, yes, the player card is just a little bit taller than the other ones, but yeah, that created a bit of a confusion there. Um, at the same time, right now on the screen, we are seeing that the game is being paused. I think it has to do with the production issues that our viewers might have been experiencing, but we're already quickly resuming, luckily. And I hope things will be a little bit better from here on. But what was even better for the match, of course, is Fennix securing their first round win here on the defense, closing the gap a little bit further, just 1 point behind on their opponent of Frequency Esports by putting the score on a 3-4. So this match is slowly becoming a lot more interesting, Pasta.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is where we see the advantage that you get from playing on the defense is really going to come into play here for Fennix. They should be able to get now 4-4, considering this is also a pretty strong site for the defenders here over on Jim Bedroom. So it's once we get like another 1 or 2 rounds under our belts that we will see really how these teams match up, because then if we see Frequency Esport, they're able to get these next 2 attacking rounds and they're going to be on map point, and it's really starting to look like they can take the map, but it could also be a 5-4 where Fennix are taking the lead. So there's obviously a lot of opportunity for different things to happen. These next couple rounds are vital.
Indeed, so with a 3-4, that's how the map is now continuing. Still Frequency in the lead and on the offense. Already making a quick entry here from the side of Strip Club. Likely having some pre-placed drones that is providing them with live information and safe information that they can enter here so blindly. And well, this is being very effective for them as well. Meanwhile, we can see Frost already getting damaged quite a bit. I think Frost was she was trying to place a shield, deployable shields onto the bat, but from outside she could be seen, and she barely made it out alive. Only 14 HP remaining. Just 1 bullet will easily take her out, and the shield hasn't been placed either. So very unfortunate there for the Frost.
Absolutely is. But still standing, and that's the important thing.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah,
you've
got a gun up.
Always more important, yeah.
Yeah, you've got a gun up. You're able to find kills because again, one shot headshot. It does not matter how much HP you have as long as you are able to shoot your gun. And well, that'll be a lesson and a message for all. We're able to find the impact that we want to have as long as you're staying alive in these games. So Mayo, again, still has a part to play, but going to have to be incredibly careful when doing so. We see more of this utility coming on through Shinji using his RC Wateros to open up some sightlines, open up some angles. Hachi and Banquet now as well taken down to low HP, 4 and 17 respectively, as the final minute of this round approaches us, Max.
Yeah, we can see Hachi already on top of those main stairs, where Yuki then also is getting a kill onto Kwanga. Yuki with another kill there onto Poppy, and things are definitely starting to pop up here for the side of Frequency. A nice man advantage at 3 versus 5 with very low HP, but so is their opponents. Will with a kill onto Shenji, Hachi with a kill onto Mayo, leaves only 2 defenders standing versus 4 attackers. Bankus with a kill onto Bale, Maxime with a kill onto Bankus. It's 1 versus 3, all coming down to Maxime on the side of Fennix Esports if they still want to be able to win this round. But with the diffuser now planted, things are getting more unlikely, and then with Hachi just finishing it off by finding Maxime, it's a round going to Frequency, putting the score on 3-5.
Yeah, and that's the point there. Hachi was only on 4 HP, still found the final kill of the round, although let's face it, probably wouldn't have clutched that out anyway because of still having, I think, 2 players after that to take down. But even still, every little helps, and he's able to get the kill for his team, bring the round over the line. So now, this round again, we're seeing Jim Bedroom again, and I believe we're seeing the same operators here, which means that if they set up the same way, Frequency are going to be able to take an incredible lead here and potentially even get up to map point, because we're not seeing that adaptation from Fennix right now. And yeah, if they go 6-3 down, you know, what can you really do against that?
No adaptation not being present here from the side of Fennix, but at the same time, it's not just adaptation that can help you win the round. Of course, Sherry would be better as it helps you to just create a bit of a surprise element to the side of frequency. But at the same time, doing the same kind of setup and actually Frost being allowed to play the deployable shields, just doing things a little bit better might actually create some success for the side of Fennix. Just not dying too early, not getting damaged too early, and just getting those opening kills instead of getting opening kills. That might just be good enough for Fennix to be victorious for this round. And well, we'll see whether they are able to do so.
Yeah, the problem is that it wasn't even really a close round. It got to a 1 versus 4 fairly effortlessly for Frequency Esport. So whether we see some adaptation, at least in the site setups, which I believe we might have. I'm not entirely sure if that mute jammer was placed over on the wall. We can see now finally Hachi getting that plat wall open. RT Reteras as well came through to destroy the shield on the bed. There's the opening pick for the side of Frequency yet again. This time, though, it's traded. Maxime swinging out towards Shinji on that small breach over by Construction and gets us into a 4 versus 4.
Yes, the round definitely being a little bit less close, and with Hachi getting another kill there onto Maxime, it's once again the attackers on the side of Frequency gaining the man advantage here and being in a good position. They are slowly getting closer to the bomb sites. We can already see ace charges being prepared to open up the wall towards to Construction, but they just need to deal with the mute jammer in order to be able to open it, which they will do shortly.
Now, Hachi did get spotted by that bulletproof camera that's inside the Construction as well, so there is information being passed over to the Steve fence, and a 3 versus 4, it's not unwinnable by any stretch of the imagination, but it is still, you are still in a disadvantage. Quanga nearly finds a pick there on towards Construction, but instead, everyone walks away from that engagement unscathed. And this is where things can really start to become a problem for Fennix Esport. They are getting constricted around the bomb site. These hallways are going to start to feel narrower as Banquo's pushed in towards logistics, has found a kill. And there's another pick for them. It's again another 1 versus 4. The C4 hasn't landed correctly on the wall, and now they know his position downstairs. Banquo's taken down again. It's a 1 versus 3 for one of these players. Diffuser has been stuck, and now it's just holding these positions, potentially off-site. Les Bale is going to be able to take them out. They're doing these consecutive 1 versus 1s, but just positioning just a little bit too good. And Frequency Esport, they find map point.
And that's Matt Boy Gay with a 3-6 score right here. Once again, it was a 1 versus 3 post-plan situation in the favor of Frequency Esports. This time, the one sole player of Fennix at least managed to get that first kill to turn it into 1 versus 2. But unfortunately, that second one wasn't happening. And well, that means that Frequency right now is on 6 points, double the amount of points that Fennix has scored so far. So Fennix finds himself in a bit of a tricky situation. They are playing on the defense, but so far out of the 3 rounds that they have been playing on defense, they lost 2 and only won 1. But the good thing is, the one that they won is in the basement, and that's where they're going next.
So at least they should get up to 4.
I hope so.
You'd assume.
For the sake of the match.
Yes. But we saw... Actually... No, never mind. I'm talking nonsense. I was going to say we saw a Ying, but we didn't. So
it happens to the best.
Yeah, it really does. Listen, we're being nerfed today. The ESA gods decided that actually we needed to be nerfed. They were like, no, they are too powerful. We need to make them a little bit weaker.
Yeah, both of me and me not in our best health today. But either way, we're here. We're going to make the show happening. The show must go on. That's the motto of ESA Cup. Currently on 100% stream rate. Like every single match that has happened, that has been played, has been broadcasted so far. And well, with only a total of 3 streams remaining, today's Wednesdays, and then the grand finals on the 7th of July, which is on a Sunday. I mean, we're on a nice track to keep that promise and to just make sure that every single match will be shown to our viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. Maya getting the first kill there. It really would have been a disaster last season, though, if White's computer had broken at any point, because she did basically every stream.
Yeah, luckily for her,
pretty similar this season.
Yeah, sorry.
Pretty similar this season. But
Yeah, I think it's a bit eased out, bit eased for her, as Niles also has been doing quite a bit of work this season around, but still being a major
well,
MVP
yeah,
for
you say
for the
things
production
have
team.
eased out for her. She's now just having to observe like every hour of the day for Dianic, so she's just locked in
Yeah.
a different prison. She's
Yes.
she's been transferred.
We've done a
Um,
prisoner exchange. Yeah.
yeah. Either way, it's a 5 versus 3. The attacker's not doing too great.
No, definitely not doing too great. Already lost 2 members versus the 5 standing defensive players. This is exactly what Phoenix needs to do at this point, because their opponent is on map points, and well, they can just not allow to lose this round. But what's happening?
Oh,
Suddenly,
dear.
2 members on the side of Fennix losing
Oh.
their lives, evening out the Menka, but the explosion doing a lot of damage there onto the attackers. And Yuki with a kill into Kwanga, Pop with a kill onto Yuki. A 2 versus 2 with Ying being extremely low on HP. A single bit of damage would easily take her out, and she just needs to be extremely careful right now. Attackers also losing a bit of their momentum, they're no longer the control that they once had. The diffuser lost inside, I believe, as well. So definitely not a good position for Frequency to be in.
Yeah, one thing that I find interesting there is Bale was rotating over to this mirror window, but he didn't even look towards that main that long corridor as well, the main stairs double. Instead, just looking at the site rotate, which you know is clear because well, your other teammate is also in sight. So a little bit interesting there. Maybe not the communication coming through as much as they would like. As the timing continues to tick down, the communication needs to be on point for these defenders. They will have spotted them now coming down these main stairs, rotating towards Moto, and you can see that Bale's repositioned, but he's getting too aggressive,
No
and it
way.
cost him his life. Shinji as well with the final pick of the map. It's Clubhouse 7-3 to Frequency Esport.
What a match. It actually was a lot shorter than I was hoping for. 7-3. This round definitely should have gone to the side of Fennix, but well, Frequency said no. They just really did a great job on working things around and securing this map in their favor. And yeah, with a 3-7, we'll be going to the second map. It's Oregon, which is coming up next. I believe even the side pick, the map pick of Frequency. Yes, that's even correct. So it's even going to be the map pick of Frequency as well. So Fennix is definitely up for a challenge here.
Yeah, they absolutely are. However, we're going to go for just a quick break. When we come back, we'll be heading straight into Oregon. See you in a few minutes.
See you in a bit.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our second map of Fennix Esports versus Frequency Esport. So I'm still Pastor, still joined by Max, and we are going to be taking you through this map as well. We had a 7-3 win for Frequency on Clubhouse, and correct me if I'm wrong, Max, that was Fennix Esports map pick.
That was
not ideal. Now we head into Frequency Esports map pick after they already dominated Fennix.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Oregon.
Yeah, it's going to be Fennix. It's going to be starting on the defense, but I believe Frequency. Let me just double check it. I believe Frequency is going to start on the attack on the overtime as well. But either way, yeah, it's going to be the defense here for the side of Fennix, which might benefit them. I mean, Oregon isn't exactly a very. I think for ESA we're looking at like a 55% defensive rate. I think. Just going from my head right there, but yeah, that should technically favor Fennix, and maybe by just starting on the defense this time, they will actually be able to score some points and actually have a bit more of a favorable round swap, which also boosts them, like their morale, the way they are feeling about the game, and hopefully this leads to them just performing a little bit better. Because it would of course be very sad if this is just going to be an 0-2 match. Especially for this giving being the lower bracket semifinal. So only 4 teams remain. After today, only 3 will remain. And, well, what you should expect is a banger of a match between 2 teams. We didn't exactly see that on the first map. But if it's up to Fennix, it's not too late to do so. They can still make that happen.
They absolutely can. And Max, your memory was slightly off there, though. It's a 60%, not a 55.
60% defensive rate
60% defensive rate here on Oregon so far in ESA.
Oh, that's worse than I thought.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's a map that people have tended to figure out. It sits fairly evenly into that 4-2 half sort of remit.
Yeah.
It's very standard, very Oregon.
Hmm.
As for the bans as well, they're also both quite standard. You've got a Ying, you've got a Montaigne being taken out. The two most banned operators on the attack, and the two most banned operators in general, surpassed only by Solus, who's been
Hmm.
banned just 4 more times
Oh wow.
than, or make it 3 more times now, than Ying, thanks to this ban that we see here.
Yeah. That's all coming down to one more ban coming from the side of Fennix Esports before we can actually start with this second and potential last map of the evening. But this map of this operator ban is going to be Azami, which is a fairly understandable one, as she can just be extremely strong on any map, but is also commonly picked on a map like Oregon. Luckily, the one missing player has also been able to rejoin just in time to pick an operator, so we are able to start the match without any further delay. And well, I'm very curious to see how things will be going because Pasta, I'm trying to remember on Clubhouse, the map we just seen, the playstyle of Fennix as the attacking team. Was it rather aggressive or a bit more slow?
Um, of Fennix as the attacking
Fennix,
team.
yeah, when they were attacking.
Being defused by attackers.
Oh gosh, that was all the way back in the first half
Yeah,
of
that's why.
Clubhouse.
It was rather slow, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, it did tend to
Yeah,
be quite slow. We saw
that's
a lot of rounds actually, particularly on Gym Bedroom, I believe it was,
yeah.
where we were halfway through the round and we didn't even see any bit of damage taken by any player anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, fairly slow for Fennix on the attack. We'll have to look out for that in 6 rounds time.
Because it's making me think back about the match that I had last week with Frequency as well. Like they were playing against Ryuga
Okay.
on Oregon at one point. I think Oregon was the third map, yeah, the decider map. And throughout the whole match, it was just Frequency being so aggressive, winning gunfight after gunfight, and just being so much more aggressive than Ryuga. And maybe Ryuga was a bit slower even than Fennix, a bit more defensive. But once it came to Oregon, we could really see that was Frequency really benefiting from a map like Oregon. That's really like kill focused, where you will see a bit more of a team deathmatch rather than like a bomb kind of game mode. So this spells a bit of doom here for the side of Fennix, if you ask me. Like if Frequency is going to be as successful on getting those kills, on getting those opening kills, and being very aggressive, then they might actually be able to win again pretty easily. They did already lose their first player, which was just unfortunately. But with a 5 versus 4 and attack being so good on the side of Frequency, they might still be able to succeed anyway.
Yeah, good first pick for Maxime playing in and around the big tower. Again, it's a very common position for the defenders to play, particularly if you want to get a bit more aggressive on an operator like a Melusi, where your utility is kind of set it and forget it. You now only really have a gun in your hand. Obviously, the bulletproof camera having been placed down as well. There is going to be a trade here from the side of Frequency Esport. Banquer's getting the kill there onto Maxime, bringing things to a 4 versus 4. But this attack from Frequency is a bit slower than we saw on that previous map. However, it's still plenty of opportunity for any form of aggressive execute. There's another kill for Banquist there on the freezer stairs as he's now pushing his way down. It's Bale to get the trade.
Yeah, there's Lisa with a 3 versus 3 with just over a minute remaining. And well, attackers are definitely struggling to get some proper control. They have opened up some of the hatches and have been attempting to descend some of the stairs, but the defenders have been very aggressive and very successful on holding the back. We can see one attacker currently descending the London stairs. As you know, he made his way back up towards meeting. He was descending those stairs, but he decided to fall back and rejoin with his teammates. So for now, his attackers just waiting for a way to find a way back into the bomb site where all 3 defenders are waiting. They have mirror windows and lots of utility to help them support their positions. And with Capitao now shooting his arrows, just missing out on that Jaeger, was now forced out of position. He is able to stay alive just a bit longer and, well, waste time for the attacking side.
Yeah, one thing that we were quite critical of Fennix in the previous map was that sometimes they were a little bit disjointed on their attacks, and we've kind of seen it again here. Everyone is pushing from a different direction. Yuki's now taken out by a C4 of Bale. There's a kill from Shinji inside of Blue, but the push down, they don't know of this position from Popoy inside of Harry Potter. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Reloading, Bale swings round. Shinji gets the kill, gets the clutch. And a 1v2 gets Frequency their first round on the board. However, like I was saying, it was slightly disjointed. I'm thinking about Banquez's push down through Freezer. That was literally just him just trying to go for it, open things up on him by himself. And it didn't really work.
Yeah, damn, I must say the crosshair placement of K8 was actually pretty good onto the Ash, but the Ash was just a little bit faster, sprayed and got the headshots onto the K8. Beautifully done there from the side of freaking Esports, where it almost seemed like the round wasn't going to be in their favor. They managed to make it work either way, and it's the first offensive round for them on the board, putting the score on a 0-0. For the side of Fennix is just going to attempt the same bomb site one more time. In the side, in the terms of the lineup, pretty much the same, I believe. Just the Jaeger being swapped out, and I think the one Mai coming in. I don't think there's any other changes, or did we not have any mutes on the last
Yeah, we didn't have a mute last time. So yeah, so we had the one Mai. It's the mute that's now been brought in, and I guess it makes sense. We saw drones getting a lot of information and being quite useful for Frequency previously. So yeah, bring along a mute. Make sure that you take some of that information away from them. Makes perfect sense. However, again, something to say about Frequency is they did get 3 attacks in 4 rounds in the previous map. So the attack is definitely not going to be a weakness for them, because they proved to be a very good attacking team on Clubhouse. They've already started to get things off on the right foot here on Oregon as well.
Yeah, being aggressive, like I said, suits teams on Oregon, and that's something that Frequency Esports is being able to benefit from. Right now, it's just going to be a second attempt, like I said, on the basement. I believe that every single defender is playing downstairs as well, or in or near the bomb site. So this would mean that the attackers will get pretty much of a free ride to clear most of the building and benefit from it, where they can then start opening up those hatches, which they're definitely going to need the time for, of course, because with the Kaid in play, opening up those hatches is going to be tricky. They will need to deal with those electric block first before they can get the hatch open. And well, in both ways, it helps either team. The attackers are getting a lot of time to do their jobs, while the defenders are staying alive and to fortify the bomb site at a maximum capacity.
Attackers have located a bomb.
We've got a similar attacking lineup again as well here. Bring along the Ram, which is a really interesting one for me, because think about how much vertical you can get on this basement site. Well, there isn't any.
No.
So the use of the Ram is interesting. We saw it brought along in the previous round to just clear some of the Melusi Banshees that were placed on the floor. That doesn't really seem like the best use of Ram's utility, to be honest. There could be a different operator being brought along there. In the meantime, while I've been waffling, we've seen a bit of a trade. Mayo and Banquez falling respectively for their sides into a 4 versus 4.
Oh, and also this time the one mine operator new to this round, as he wasn't picked in previous round, definitely paying off so far, catching both of those S charges meant for those mirror windows, meaning those mirror windows can no longer be destroyed remotely, which is going to be a big problem here for the attacking side, as the defenders can just keep using it against them, which will definitely slow down the offense. And also with 45 seconds remaining, there isn't that much time remaining for the attackers. Yes, the attackers have the same, have a bit of an HP advantage where the man count is the same. But with Hachi getting a kill here onto Maxime, the favorability is now increasing a little bit for the attacking side, but time is running out and time is getting precious by the second.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate there from Maxime, because he had the position but just didn't react in time. And, well, the kill was able to come through for Frequency instead. You did mention that time, though, and it is going to become even more of a factor. A C4 out over the top does not catch onto Yuki. He's now planting again just with a kill. And now it's a 1 versus 4 for Popoy. Does find one down. He's going to confirm it as well. Pads the stats just slightly. But the round does come through for Frequencies. They get 2 on the board. And we need to see something different from Fennix now, because they can't just go basement again. And indeed, they are going up to the top floor, because basement should be the best site for defenders on this map.
Yeah, and so to defense, like we said in the beginning, like you pointed
Yeah.
out from Wikipedia, 60% defensive win rates. Well,
And frequency of 1-2 attacks already on the
yeah,
strongest site in the game. Make it make sense.
yeah, something is definitely not going well for the side of Fennix. Maybe Clubhouse kind of destroyed their mentality already, as they were, of course, hoping to win their own map pick, which they didn't. But either way, Fennix needs to find a way to do things better. And going to a different bomb site is definitely an option that was presented to them. They have decided to go to the top floor this time around after losing the bottom floor 2 times in a row. And well, it's still a very favorable bomb site. A lot of teams like to play on this bomb site, like to defend it. And hopefully this one will just suit a little bit better for the side of Fennix, as it's, of course, very different than that basement.
Yeah, absolutely is. One thing I will say is that I'm not always a fan of the Melusi, and this is definitely one of those times.
Mm-hmm.
It works out great when you're winning,
Attackers are moving
but
out to locate a bomb.
realistically, the Banshees don't do a lot.
Oh.
We are seeing
Oh.
maybe a run out from Bale.
It seemed to be a very short-lived one that didn't really do much.
Yeah, no, nothing really happened from it. So at least there's that. Maxime's in a tricky situation here, though. The logic bomb call is going to go off as Bale jumps out and runs out again over on that other side of the map. And it's actually Mayo who finds the opening pick here in this game, assisting Shinji over here by the eastern side and the small tower. As the other logic bomb comes through. That's very early usage from Bankers.
Yeah, so far I'm liking what I'm seeing from Fennix. They are playing together like in pairs of 2, just waiting a bit further off bomb site, just hoping to find any attacker entering the building off guard, which they did. They managed to find Shinji. That's the Ash loss. That's a pretty big operator lost for the attacking side. It's not per se utility-wise, but it's just a great fragger that, well, frequency could need, especially since they're so focused on getting those kills and playing aggressive. So having him off the board, or Ash off the board, is definitely going to be favorable. But then also immediately falling back to the bomb side. Now they have gained the man advantage. They can just fortify the bomb side even further and, well, we just benefit from having the man advantage. That's what I'm liking to see so far from the side of Fennix.
Now, however, there has been a trade coming through from Yuki. Nice play from Mayo to find a double, but the kills are happening elsewhere. There's another pick for the defense, though. Kwanga with that one to keep the advantage for his side in a 2-3 versus 2 now. Fennix Esport, they have the advantage heading into this final minute of the round.
Yeah, maintaining the advantage, that is key for the side here, Fennix, because if they only lose one member, it will be equalized, and Frequency then, of course, will gladly try to benefit from that even further. They still have the diffuser in hands. They are getting closer to the bomb site. I'm not sure whether has the walking closet actually been opened up.
I don't know if it has.
I'm not sure either. I'm not sure what Ace has been doing. Like, he did use his charges, so he must have done something, whether that's from the attic or from walking closet. But him actually just running up the wide stairs and trying to go for the bomb site was a very interesting thing, but not paying off as Bill gets the kill. Then following up by Mayo with another kill there onto Hachi. And finally, we're seeing a first defensive round win here for the side of Fennix, putting the score on 0-2. But now I'm getting very curious, which bomb side are they going to? Are they going back to Laundry Supply Room, the bomb side they played twice and lost twice? Or are they actually going to attempt some of the other 2 options that are available on this map? But like you said, oh no, it seems like they're going back to Laundry Supply Room, which, I mean, we have this saying, I always pointed out, 3 times the charm, and in some cases it actually works out. Finally, the 3rd time there is a bit of success, especially maybe with the momentum a little bit in the backs right now, as they just won the first round. But it's definitely going to be a tricky one, and they definitely need to pull something off differently than how they've done the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, for sure. That round win does give them just a little bit of a springboard, and they do actually have something a little bit different. We can see Maxime here playing the Tuberal, so the one of the newer operators to join the game, and we can see that he's going to be brought along just to again deny this time to stall out the defenders, to stall out the attackers even, sorry, because we've seen that it get quite low on time actually for frequency in this map. They've been attacking on this basement a little bit slower than we saw on Clubhouse and slower than we saw on that top floor as well, but that didn't necessarily work out for them. So yeah, just introducing a little bit more time delay should hopefully be something positive. But again, we're seeing the Malusi, and she does not offer much for...
No.
She doesn't offer much for a team. I'd much rather see something like a Valkyrie or similar, because again, she can provide so much more utility for a side. It's a similar thing that I have against Thorn as well, but Thorn is much more useless than Malusi is.
Yeah.
If a team picks Thorn, they're just vehemently trolling. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, we can already see that various members of the side of Frequency have already established some kind of map control, but one thing they might not be aware of is there's actually 2 roamers at this point. I mean, there's Malusi kind of backstage, that's not really considered roaming, as you can easily fall back. But there's actually the Mai hiding in garage. I don't know if you've seen, but he's been in garage the whole time, and I don't think Frequency is aware. So as long as Mai is able to hide there and just waits for the right moment, he can be absolutely devastating. I'm just waiting for him to make a move, really. Look, he's right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yuki's just run past. I don't know if they know. Oh, the 2-brow Dota canister there not really working out either. It's a little bit too late on that. The hard breach charge is able to go off. So.
Oh, there we go.
Not great. Oh, and he missed a shot onto Yuki. Mayo does at least find that second fight and is able to escape back to the bomb site. So early advantage for the side of Fennix Esport yet again, but still not ideal for them. Just is able to find the kill onto Maya, getting the trade. I was going to say he was low on health, but it doesn't matter because now they're finding pigs left, right, and center. Hachi now, the only player left standing for Frequency Esport. And as he pushes down the freezer stairs, there's going to be people watching for this. And with those shots, everyone's now aware of this position. Can he find anything at all? It's going to be no. Maxime with the kill, and we've tied up at 2 rounds apiece.
Yeah, Multi-Hachi needing to find a multi-kill in order to actually secure the round in his favor for his team, but of course in a very difficult position and not succeeding to do so. And actually, finally, we are having an even score line again, a 2-2 score between these 2 teams. Finally, 2 round wins from the side of Fennix onto the defense, but now they are actually forced to a 3rd bomb site. This is going to be Meeting Kitchen, which is the one that is locked in so far. They could technically go for Kitchen Dining, but most teams don't really decide to go for that one. And it's going to be a bit more of the common option, which I think makes sense.
Yeah, you see Kitchen Dining a lot more in North America than you do over here in Europe.
I'm even doubting whether I have seen it at all this season. I don't think we have. That's how little it's getting picked here.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually. Maybe there's been like 1 round of it. I feel like there's probably been 1 team where they try it and then it doesn't work, probably because it's Kitchen Dining.
Yeah.
Although really the tertiary sites here on Oregon can tend to be quite weak, like either of them. So no, realistically, it's just personal preference. There isn't much to separate those two sites at all.
Yeah, both really come down to the top floor being very valuable on either side. Like the defenders can use it to defend it, the attackers can use it to attack it, and likely that's also why we'll see various defenders playing up top, but also attackers going to prioritize the top player first before going for the actual bomb site. But it's always a bit of the question where the attacks are mostly going to be coming from. Some decide to go for big tower to open up the walls there, backstage and attic, where they will put most of their pressure. While some other teams actually go a bit more from the top floor side, where we can see Hachi already opening up the walking closet wall, trying to get control over games. A lot of pressure actually from that side. Various attackers already inside of the building, but Kwanga is actually the first to find the kill, takes out Hachi as he just got in, and the attackers just get stalled a little bit because of it.
Hachi caught lacking. He was facing the wrong direction, and it's meant that the defense can get off to a good start, but just is able to find a kill back, taking out Maxime elsewhere on the top floor. And now that position noted, and well, the player now removed from the top floor, but still, I was going to say Popoy is upstairs, but no longer. He's now dead, thanks to Yuki.
Yeah, he's now upstairs in heaven instead. And with a 3 versus 4, that's what we're continuing with. But still plenty of time for the attackers to actually work with. They still have 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining, where they can do loads of things. Like they have shotguns to do soft destruction. They still have some smoke canisters, claymores, EMP nades, lots of utility to make it very difficult for the defenders to play on site. Also, the Harbiage utility is going to be extremely important. The Randorns to take care of the castle barricades, verticality to deal with the roamers of the players on site. And that's again another defender losing his life as Mayo now that's taken care of.
And this is the problem with losing one of your tertiary bomb sites twice. It means that when you inevitably have to go to your tertiary, it sets you up to only have a 3-3 half heading into things. With a 4 versus 2, the advantage well in the hands of the side of Frequency. And now Fennix just relying on Quanga in a 1v4 situation. And he's not even able to find the first. Banquo's shutting it down with the final 2 picks. And Frequency retake the lead and have guaranteed themselves 3 attack rounds, which could just be the game written off here and now.
Yeah, indeed. I was about to say something similar. It's 3 rounds already on the board for that attack, while technically the defense should be heavily favoring here. If 3-3 potentially would still be workable for the side of Fennix, like if as Frequency can actually win those attacking rounds, then in theory Fennix should be able to do so as well. So if they can at least manage to win this upcoming defensive rounds, they should have a chance to make a comeback in the attacking phase. And especially with this being one of the bomb sites they managed to win, which is this top floor, they might be able to at least get 3 rounds on the board and have a little bit of a less hard time on the second half.
Yeah, but obviously we saw in Clubhouse as well that Frequency were able to get 3 attack rounds in just those first 4 rounds of the half. And again, they're looking pretty proficient on their attacks as well. Obviously, to win a map in regulation, you need to win more either attacks or defenses than your opponents did on the first half when you actually go into that second half. So right now the question is going to be, are Frequency able to win more defense rounds than Fennix? Now, considering that Fennix, the maximum they can only get is 3, the answer to that is likely to be yes, looking at the 60% defensive win rate.
Yeah.
And again, defense starting at least this round strong, must bail with the opener.
Especially with the floors of the board, things will be a little bit easier for the defensive side, as floors, of course, is very, very effective on just doing various kinds of destruction, whether it's soft floors, soft walls, or bits of utility. He can destroy it easily with his drone. It's just the board. Things are just getting a little bit easier here for the defensive side. Attackers, meanwhile, putting a little bit of pressure on different sides. We can see one attacker already being inside of Armory, I believe I saw. And from there, they will start to just attempt to put more and more pressure onto the bomb side itself.
Yeah, for sure. Although Habsy's also taking some damage now as well. And Popboy needs to be careful here, actually. Just maybe looking to swing that that door instead. The impact grenade goes out from Maxime playing close left, and he gets the headshot as well. 4 versus 2 now for the defense. The swing comes round from Banquet, who's good for 1. Potentially nearly finding a second there. Mayo on that security door needs to be careful. Now with the shots raining on through from the kitchen as well, he's going to start to find this a little bit more constricting, and yeah, he is taken down by Banquets as he tries to rotate down those freezer stairs towards the basement to try and wiggle his way out of there. And from a 4 versus 2, it's now a 2 versus 2. Shotgun up close on this angle is potentially dangerous, potentially lethal even for Banquets, but he's going to drone things out first, so Popboy's position should be notated.
2 versus 2 situation with just under a minute remaining right now. Attackers having plenty of time to drone out those defenders to see where they're playing. Not having that much utility, however, that would be able to favor them.
Oh, they've missed each other.
Yeah, they unfortunately just miss each other, and also the Heartbreacher hasn't been able to do his work, so they are very limited with their entry points. Just the existing windows and staircases is what the attackers will need to deal with, and this makes their attack a little bit more predictable. Both now coming from the wide stairs, trying to refrag each other if needed, but with the Goyo just being ready, finding the head of Bankus. It's all coming down to Shinji, who now has extended the wide stairs as well. Frost with the shotgun, the Mute with the shotgun right around the corner, just waiting for Ash to get in close proximity, and as he picks around the corner, finds the kill onto Shinji, and that's Team Blue getting one more kill on the boards, evening out the scoreboard with a free score, which now means we're having the role swap happen, where it's now going to be Fennix Esport on the offense and Frequency Esport on the defense.
Yeah, so now for Fennix to win this map, to take us to a map 3, at least in regulation time, they're going to need to find 4 attacks here on Oregon. Now, if we look back to Clubhouse, they only got 2.
Yeah.
However, maybe a bit of a warmer start here on Oregon. They can be able to carry some of that momentum through. However, for the side of Frequency, all they have to do to win this in regulation is to win 4 defenses.
Sounds
and
a lot
that's
easier.
kind of the expected result. Yeah, like you say, it's so much easier. So this might be setting us up for a 2-0, lest we see a little bit of magic happen from the side of Fennix.
And especially Frequency, a team that's so good on the attack on a map like Oregon, getting 3 rounds on the board, it's going to be even harder for the side of Fennix to do so. So, like you said, indeed, it's not looking too bright here for the side of Fennix. Of course, we shouldn't count them out yet. It's still possible for them to actually be successful. And, yeah, just maybe catch Frequency off guard. But it's definitely going to be a very big challenge for them to do so. Obviously, Frequency also deciding to go to this basement first, like you already pointed out countless of times, the strongest bomb site on this map and potentially even in the game, really. And yeah, it's up to the side of Fennix now to go for the offense. Frequency managed to win it twice. Will Fennix be able to do so or not?
Well, that's the question. We're going to have to find it out. Obviously, we saw as well that Frequency were able to win an attack on the basement on Clubhouse. That was the round 10 that took things over the line. So on sites that should realistically be very strong, we've seen them in the past, in this series even though, be able to win things out there. So that is at least, again, the history pointing in a positive direction for the side of Frequency. However, Fennix are no slouches themselves. Oh, very close there. From Maya, the C4 up over the top. But it's been dodged, and Kwanga pushing down the stairs has been able to find the opener there on towards Bankers.
Surprisingly, no damage there from the Sit4 at all. Like, you would expect at least a little bit, but the box is just perfectly blocking it. And unfortunately, also losing his life in the process without being able to take anyone to his grave with him. So very unfortunate there. But it leaves us with a 5 versus 4 situation. Half of the time still remaining for the attacking side to work with. No roamers anymore to deal with. So they have free playing space in any on any of the floors right above the bomb site. Floors drones coming out, just trying to destroy those bulletproof shields. And this will make it even harder for the defenders to defend their own bomb site.
It absolutely does to see. Flashes come on in, the stuns as well. Kwanga with a double, but now finding himself down, but not out. Over inside the bunker, the C4 used just to catch things out, but they haven't checked its Harry Potter position down in the cupboard under the stairs. Maxime now, the last one left, finds one, not the second, and it's a round for Frequency Esport.
Yeah, Shinji being very, very strong for the team, really working things back in their favor, but almost seemed to go to the side of Fennix. But Mai said, no, we got this, and I got it. And he managed to work it, managed to work things for side of Frequency, putting another point on the board and for them gaining the lead as well. So that's a 3-4 score in the favor of Frequency, winning their first defensive round. Of course, again, they need to go to a different bomb site. And for this, they will be going to Kids Dorms Mainol, which is, again, very understandable.
I mean, some teams will have this as their primary site and then have the basement as their secondary, so, you know, it's a very strong site again. This shield is interesting. We don't actually tend to see it that often anymore, but it was quite a popular one, you know, a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Placing it backwards just to have it a little bit further back, give you a better angle to actually see from when you're looking towards trophy.
Yeah, and it's not as if the glass in those bulletproof shields are like mirror windows. They work in both ways. So it doesn't actually matter from which side you're looking through them. It works either way. It's just that, yeah, the other side has a bit of a hollow space, just fitting your body a little bit better, where you now just need to be a bit more careful that you don't expose yourself too much.
Yeah. For sure, but again, it does. You're able to sit a little bit further back. It gives you better sightline and a better protection from Trophy. And that's really what it's about. It's really about holding on to Trophy as best as you can, even if you can't have a player physically inside of that room yourself.
Yeah, for this defensive round from side of Frequency, we can see they have opened up the attic walls towards the big tower, so they're definitely extending and trying to have some maneuverability along the map, but then also with a player playing downstairs. I believe it was Malusi, who was being played by Hachi, who's playing downstairs, just waiting for any attackers to catch them off guard, to slow them down further. And well, with the attackers now knowing about her position, they know they need to deal with her and cannot leave her behind, which is going to cost some time. In the end, it's actually Shinji getting that very first kill onto Kwanga. So that's the bug on the side of Fennix already losing his life, unfortunately. Which is very unfortunate, of course, as the bug was picked to make that verticality from below, to contest most from below, and also with that Aruni being played by Shinji, looking down the hatches, just doing a bit of damage and slowing down the attackers even further. Popeye with a kill onto Hachi, and well, the lead is back to 4 versus 4, but still with the attackers having a bit of a challenge here. Blitz?
Oh dear. Well, that's certainly a challenge. Those frost mats devastating for the side of Fennix Esport. Banquist is able to get the collection there, but really it's Yuki's utility that led to the kill. That's your main aggression force gone as well, being the Blitz, and Yuki has found another pick on towards Maxime. So it's a 2 versus 4. Shinji as well, just to point out, has been loving this Aruni. We saw 1 or 2 rounds on Clubhouse as well where Shinji was playing Aruni, and again it's a similar thing here, just getting a little bit too aggressive there, trying to swing on towards Trophy. Was being watched from White Stairs, but a trade from Shinji and Banquist with the shutout. Frequency Esport get another defense here on the top floor, and they get up to 5-3 rounds.
Yeah. A bit of an unfortunate attack there for the side of Fennix, but once that Blitz just hopped in from the main window, I'm actually really starting to put some question marks on what's going on here. Because either the Blitz player is just going completely rogue and doesn't care about the plan of the team and just goes completely solo and tries to make things work, or it's just the side of Fennix, which is in general as a team is becoming clueless and doesn't really know how to deal with Frequency anymore. But the Blitz just hopping in from the big window without checking for any frost traps where they know they have a frost. They could have easily droned it. They might have droned it as well. It's just being very questionable to me.
Yeah, you have to be droning that. Like, absolutely. It's not like Frost is a bit of an off pick in that position. Frost is very, very common on that top floor. Like, you've got to be checking for frost mats down there. Yeah. And it just doesn't, like you said, it looked like it didn't look like they had, or maybe they'd spotted them but didn't communicate it or something, because there's no world where you, as a Blitz, should be jumping into a window if you're not a billion trillion % sure that you're not just going to land yourself into a frost mat.
Yeah, and then even if the frost trap wasn't there, like, what was the plan? Yes, the Blitz might be able to go in, might surprise the defenders, might be able to pick up a kill or 2, but then what? There was no other attacker in the close proximity to actually capitalize onto that. Like, to not benefit from the distraction created, to not refrag or whatever. So even if the Blitz was able to get in successfully, like, then what? I don't see it.
It's questionable.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Well, chance to redeem themselves for Fennix Esport now. Particularly as we are on the tertiary bomb site for the defense, meeting dining again. We're not seeing, meeting kitchen. We're not seeing dining room. That's the point I was trying to make. Being brought along here. But heavy investment actually from the side of Frequency on that side of the map. We can see there's castle barricades, proximity alarms as well, just making sure they don't get caught through the small tower, through dining room. But instead, we're seeing this vertical push. We're seeing this take that's probably going to end itself inside of meeting. However, Mayo is over on the eastern side with a diffuser, so maybe there is a chance that they'll be trying to end in kitchen through the dining room themselves. But well, Maxime certainly won't be. He's just now relegated to the drones for this round because he's been taken out.
Yeah, well, at the same time, there is a bit of positivity for the side of Fennix. They have already managed to get control over Dining, where Termite already has pre-placed his Termite charge and are just waiting to go for the breach. However, Tubero having different plans, slowing down this offense by just, well, not allowing the Termite charge to be activated and therefore the wall to be breached. So they will need to find a way to actually deal with the Tubero, prevent him from using his utility on the long distance. And this verticality is definitely going to be able to help them out by doing so.
Yeah, another thing as well is that they've got this down early enough that even if Shinji does use all of his Zota canisters there on the Tuberal, there's still plenty of time to go for the ESA Executors. Well, one of the Zota canisters actually survives, and Bacchus has found a second pick on the push on through towards the site. Popoy has been taken down as well. Well, at least with one, but the picks just go the way of Frequency Esport. Proficient in attack, proficient in defense. Oregon looks like it's all Frequency, and we might be on track for another 10-round game because just like on Clubhouse, it's 6-3 to Frequency Esport.
Yeah, there's definitely a good chance to do so. And then again, a bit of a questionable round from Fennix again, if you ask me. Yes, things started out much better for them. They were able to get some kills. They were able to open up the walls. They were able to get into the bomb site. But from the moment that the two attackers went into the bomb site, Termite was the one carrying the diffuser, and he was on white stairs. So attackers finally got some kind of control over the bomb site. They were in a position where they potentially could have gone for a plant, but the person with the diffuser was on white stairs. Someone who actually entered the bomb site should have had the diffuser instead, and the player on white stairs should have been able to go upstairs to cover from above, but the diffuser was just in the wrong place, unfortunately.
Yeah, however, not that I don't think it would have mattered in the end, purely because Frequency were just too good, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be doing it, right?
No.
It's like, yeah, sure, they probably have your number anyway, but even still, you want to be at least doing the correct thing, so you can leave the game with your heads held a little bit higher. You can go, you know what, we played as well as we could have, and they were still better than us. I guess that's unlucky, rather than thinking back to those mistakes that you make and going, oh, could that have possibly changed the round for us? Would we have been able to get this round? Would we have been able to win the map? Would we have been able to do this, that, and the other? Making those mistakes will add doubt into your gameplay. It will make you play with less confidence, which is something that you need on attack, especially against this Frequency Esports side. And it's just going to lead to more mistakes and less confidence overall. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I mean, that's what these elimination matches are meant for, to differentiate the good teams from the better teams. And, well, that's something that is clearly being shown so far, at least. We shouldn't count out Fennix yet, but Frequency Esports definitely on a good track, as they have now found themselves on map/match point, as they already won the previous map as well. For this potential final round, every single defender currently still on full HP, with the first minute now passing by. Attackers getting a little bit of control over the map so far, but we can also still see some defenders running upstairs as well. So they don't have the kind of control that they are looking for, so far.
Yeah, but look at these defensive positions, really, from the side of Frequency. You've still got, I believe, a player upstairs, or maybe the outlines are just the outline colors are tricking me. No, we've got everyone here on the bottom floor. Actually, I saw the orange and I got tricked.
Yeah, it seems the Nomad somehow has an orange outline, which is fooling us as casters. You can see it right there, right backstage. The player, of course, the defender shouldn't be there at this point. But yeah, it's all 5 defenders are playing downstairs.
Either that or Nomad or Popoy is a spy. And it's actually on Frequency Esport this entire time. Yes. The droppers come in, actually. Crank is good for 1. Hachi, there's a trade, nearly a second as well. The long angle towards Blue Bunker. This time, though, it's Yuki who finds that kill. Shinji as well, starting to fall apart here for Fennix Esport. They might be able to rise back from the dead, but not quite today, because they are on the end of a 7-3, 7-3, a 2-0 game, unless Mayo can come up big. Yuki's already got a C4 with a Tinker with a C4. Mayo's found his way into the site, but caught in the reload and shut down. Fennix Esport, unfortunately, no revival today. They get taken out completely by Frequency.
Yeah, that's Frequency now winning with a 2-0 score. Once again, the map won with a 3-7 score as well. So just like you said, 2 maps, 10 rounds each. Beautifully done here from the side of Frequency. Definitely, like I said, a match where the good teams get differentiated by the better teams. Both teams, of course, wonderful teams. Both of them made it to the top 4, but only one of them can progress further. And that in this case is Frequency Esports.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like, again, that was the expected result. Excuse me. We look back
Oh yeah,
at the predictions. Most people thought that it would be Frequency, and I think that's also quite fair when you look at the teams that you actually had here. You're coming up against Flawless 7, and Fennix are a team that I don't really know if they've had any sort of high tier result here in ESA Cup, aside from season 8 where they've placed 4th, which is it's a very respectable place to finish. 4th out of 24 is pretty good. Unfortunately, falling just outside the prize places. However, for Entropy, that means that they for Entropy for Frequency, they've secured themselves that top 3. They've secured themselves at least €250. I guess Entropy have secured themselves
as well.
As well, being the team in the upper bracket, well, in the grand final from the upper bracket even. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Fennix and Frequency. And unfortunately, I think they were just Fennix were just kind of diffed a little bit today.
Yeah, like I said, it's where good teams get differentiated from the better teams, and that's exactly what's happening today. We can actually take a quick look at the brackets to see what things are looking like right now. Of course, there's 3 teams remaining, like we said. Right now, in the bottom right, you can see it's Ghost Army and Team Frequency, who are going to play the lower bracket final this Wednesday. To bring us to the top 2, and then Team Entropy Gaming already there, like on the right, top right, already waiting for the winner of that match. And the grand finals, also a bit of an important announcement to make as well, because of course we had a bit of a delay happening with our season, things getting postponed, matches getting postponed, all due to the sensitivity / dead zone bug that unfortunately happened. Which caused some matches to be pushed back, unfortunately, because we're supposed to have our grand finals yesterday. But due to all this unfortunate stuff, we have moved our finals all the way back to the 7th of July, which is next week, Sunday.
Yes, absolutely is. Again, we chose the 7th of July as well because we knew that there would be quite a lot of people that want to watch. There's some sport happening. I think it's called football. I don't know. It seems pretty important for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I do esports, so I don't really know what football is. That's exercise.
Yeah.
Just kidding, of course. We do exercise sometimes, us gamers. But yeah, so that's part of why it's an off day for the Euros. So hey, if you're missing some of the football action, you still get at least some excitement with the ESA Cup finals. It should hopefully be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's one of the days that there's no European Championship match, so make sure to tune in for that match as well. Write in your agenda. Make sure to save the date, 7th of July. That's when the grand finals happens. We go live. The match will start at 2 p.m. CEST, so Central European Summertime. So write it in your agenda, and I hope to see you all then. But first, of course, one more match remaining before we go to those grand finals, and that's happening this Wednesday at 7:30, as always. Which is going to be the lower bracket final between Ghost Army and Frequency Esports.
Yeah, that game as well should hopefully be a banger. But that's it from us today here at ESA Cup. I've been Pasta. I've been joined by Bozmax. We've had Voight running the production. We've had Ogon on the sticks. Thank you all very much for watching. Good night.
Have a good evening.